Hey YouTube, it's Laura here with Little Lights by Laura, and I am answering a question on staining boards for wood sign making. So first, I just kind of want to apologize. I've been gone so long. We unexpectedly sold our house, and we are currently living with my parents. Woohoo! So my shop is in boxes and storage, so I'm having to make do with what I brought, and it's very minimal. So bear with me. But so here we go. What you need for today is stain of your choice. This is just Minwax Wood Finish Penetrating Stain in Classic Gray. Power sander with 80 grit sandpaper, gloves, stain rag, hammer, and a chisel, and that's because I'm going to distress my boards. So here we go. First, you just want to sand your board really well. This is just a 1x6 piece of wood that I cut down to the size that I wanted for my sign. So I'm just going to sand it up so that the stain has something to stick to. Top on your stain can, minor detail, but before you do that, shake it up. Alright, then you just take your rag, and you can tell I've done multiple different colors here. I've done the gray before, so I'm going to use this piece even though it's already dirty, if you will. It's the same color stain. I used it on a project just last week, so I'm just going to use it again. I'm just going to dip it in here, and I'm going to brush it on. There's really no rhyme or reason to this. You just want to cover the board. And you always want to go with the grain of the wood. When you're sanding, when you're staining, when you're painting, everything, just always go with the grain of the wood, and you can't go wrong. What a cool color. Alright, so I'm just going to kind of try and get the sides. Now, I have a lot of stain right here, so I'm just going to take my rag and I'm just going to wipe it. And see how it kind of pulls it off? You can leave that on thicker if you prefer that look. That's totally up to you. And then on the side here, where it's kind of more of the cut edge, I pick up a little bit extra stain because the wood's more porous here. And I just kind of brush it in there. And I let it sit for a second. And then I go and I wipe it away. There really is no wrong way to do this, in my opinion. Okay, so now on to the fun part. I'm going to use my wood chisel and a hammer and my feet to hold my board because I'm old school, I guess. And I'm going to distress my board. So here we go. Basically all you're going to do is just get your wood chisel kind of locked in where you want it, and you're just going to tap it on the end with the hammer. So I'm going to start here, and there is no right or wrong way to do this. So now what I'm going to do, is I'm going to go and hit it with my sander again. Same thing as before. Now that you have it sanded, you just kind of want to brush away the dust. Grab your stain again and your lovely old rag. Trying to get some of the stain down into that fresh wood that I just chiseled off. And the reason for that is just because I kind of want to give a little bit of texture to the look of the wood. But honestly, like I've said 1,000 times, there is no wrong way to do this, you guys. You can totally do whatever you want. The next step I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my stencil, and I'm going to apply it to my wood. Okay, so here is my stencil cut. You can check out my video on how to cut a stencil using cardstock and view that if you want more details, but I'm just gonna fly through this real quick, and that way you guys can see the finished product. I'm using a sponge stamper, and you want to kind of rub off some of the paint first, just so that you don't have too much on there, because more paint is going to create bleeding. So pick up a little bit more. Once your paint is dried, you could come back and hit it with a sander to give it a more distressed look, but it's totally your preference. Hope this helps you guys, and please post any questions or comments in the comment section below.